Okay, in this video you're going to see how to use the 30-60-90 rule when you're given the hypotenuse. Again, the 30-60-90 rule is a rule that is for special right triangles, specifically triangles that have angle measures of 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. And the rule says if you know the short leg, you multiply it by 2 to get the hypotenuse, and you multiply the short leg by the square root of 3 to get the long leg. That's pretty much what the entire rule is, and what we're going to do is we're going to exploit this rule so that when we're given the hypotenuse, we work backwards. Since I said you multiply the short leg by 2 to get the hypotenuse, working backwards would say that if you know the hypotenuse, you divide it by 2 to get the short leg. And then once you know the short leg, it's very easy. You multiply that by the square root of 3 to get the long leg. Let's see it in action. Here we're given the hypotenuse. It's opposite the right angle. Hypotenuse is 13. So if we divide that by 2, we get the short leg. Short leg is opposite to 30. So 13 divided by 2 gives me 6.5. And like I said, multiply this short leg by the square root of 3, and you get the long leg. So the long leg here is 6.5 times the square root of 3. And you're done. That's why this is a shortcut. Second problem. Again, here's the right angle. Hypotenuse is opposite it. Here's my hypotenuse. Again, the steps are the same. Divide the hypotenuse by 2, and you get the short leg. So 100 divided by 2 gives me the short leg, which is opposite my 30. 100 divided by 2 is 50. And the rule says if you multiply the short leg by the square root of 3, you get the long leg. So my short leg's 50. Here's the long leg. 50, the short leg, times the square root of 3 is the long leg. It's a pretty nice rule. Works pretty quickly. Well, moving right along. Again, opposite the right angle. It's my hypotenuse. So 20 times the square root of 7 is my hypotenuse. If I know the hypotenuse, I can get the short leg. So, short leg's here. If I take half of the hypotenuse, I get the short leg. So 20 square root of 7 divided by 2, which I'm just going to divide the 20 by 2, and I get 10 square root of 7. Okay. If I know the short leg, I multiply by the square root of 3 to get the long leg. So 10 square root of 7 times the square root of 3. Let me just write it for you. 10 square root of 7 times the square root of 3. Well, square root of 7 times square root of 3 is square root of 21. So I know the long leg is 10 times the square root of 21. This is my long leg, and this is my short leg. Okay, let's see another one. Here's my 90-degree angle. Across from that is my hypotenuse. And let's see. The hypotenuse is 26 square root of 3. I've been saying if you divide it by 2, you get the short leg. So 26 square root of 3 divided by 2. Take half of 26 and you get 13. So here's the short leg. You get 13 square root of 3. Alright, well, let's see. Short leg times the square root of 3 gives me the long leg. I'm sorry. No, that is what I want. 13 times the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 gives me the long leg. So let's see. 13 square root of 3 times the square root of 3. Huh. Well, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9. And I can take the square root of 9. It's 3. So when you multiply a square root by itself, you just get that number back. So 13 times 3, that means this is 39. And again, if you didn't quite see what I said there, this really meant 13 square root of 9, and the square root of 9 is 3, which is why 13 times 3 is 39. Okay, moving along. Here's my 90-degree angle, which means that this is the hypotenuse. I've been saying all along, divide the hypotenuse by 2 to get the short leg. So the short leg here is square root of 3 divided by 2. There's really nothing you can do there. You can say it's 1/2 times the square root of 3 if you'd like, but I think it looks better square root of 3 divided by 2. You don't have to rationalize this because there's no square root symbol in the denominator. We can move right along. The rule says multiply the short leg by the square root of 3 and you get the long leg. So the long leg here will say square root of 3 over 2 times the square root of 3. Well, the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9, just like it was over here, and the square root of 9 is 3. So this really says just 3 over 2. That's it. That's that. Moving right along, we see this problem here. Here's my 90. Here is my hypotenuse. So like I've been saying, take half the hypotenuse and you get the short leg. Here's my short leg. 3 square root of 13 divided by 2. And that's just how I'm going to leave it. There's really nothing I need to do there. 3 times the square root of 13 divided by 2 is the short leg. And the long leg would be that times the square root of 3. So 3 square root of 13 over 2 times the square root of 3. I'm going to multiply my square roots. I'm going to get 3 square root of 13 times 3 is the square root of 39 over 2. And this is the long leg. And that's that. You can't simplify the square root of 39 at all. It's a prime number. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a prime number. What am I saying? But it can't be reduced at all. There's no perfect squares as a factor. And last but not least, we have this problem here, where this is my hypotenuse, and I'm going to solve for the short leg just like I have in every other problem. Take half of 1. Well, half of 1 is a half. 1 divided by 2 is just 1/2. Ooh, I'm sorry, I didn't put the 30s and the 60s in. There's my 30. There's my 60. So the short leg has to be here, so this is 1/2. And the long leg would be that times the square root of 3. So you can say 1/2 times the square root of 3 if you like. 1 times the square root of 3 gives you a square root of 3 in the numerator and a 2 in the denominator. Square root of 3 over 2 is the long leg. 1/2 is the short leg. That's really all there is to the 30-60-90 rule when you're given the hypotenuse. I hope these examples were helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know by leaving me a comment in the comment box below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope to see you in class. If you have any questions, let me know then, and that's about it. Have a great day.